All right, take two. You've tuned into Heroes Wanted. I am your host, Joe Prim. I want to pose a question for you. Are others cheating, or are you limiting yourself? I worked with a guy for a while that loved to create art, loved to create t-shirts, and oftentimes I would show him t-shirt designs that I thought were really cool that somebody else had made and that seemed to be selling, and I would show him these ideas, and I was always given the response of, no, I hold myself to a different standard, I do things differently. If I wanted to sell those types of t-shirts, I could sell thousands of those t-shirts and I could make thousands and thousands of dollars as well, but I choose to hold myself to a different standard. And then a couple days later, he would be complaining about how he wasn't selling enough and he wasn't making enough money and people weren't seeing his art for what it was. And this idea of everybody else is playing a different game than you are, and you are almost handcuffing yourself, and you're looking around the field as you're playing soccer and saying, why is everybody else picking up the ball with their hands and throwing it into the goal? Everybody else is scoring points, and I'm not. I'm struggling here. I'm having a hard time. I'm not reaching my goals. I'm not doing what I want to do. This leaves us with, I believe, three options. Number one, we can do like a lot of men do. We can go pout. We can grab our soccer ball and go home. Go sit on the bleachers and pout and bitch and moan and complain about how nobody else plays by your rules, and because nobody else plays by your rules, they're succeeding. But if you played by their rules, you would do well as well. Number two, we can put our head down and nobly march forward and follow our set of rules into the game, keep our head down, and just keep trying and receive some kind of good feelings by playing the martyr. Because that's as far as that ever goes. You score a goal here, they score 10. You get another goal, they score another 5. But maybe you're scoring enough to where you can rationalize in your mind the way that you're playing the game and the rules that you're playing by and the standards that you're playing by. Or number 3, we can evaluate the situation. And I always will advocate evaluating. Taking some time out to think things over for yourself and decide if you are going about things in the right way. Because the reality is, through this evaluation, you will get to decide whether there's a moral reason or a religious reason or a relationship that is preventing you from playing the game the way that others are. And if that's the case, legal, moral, religious reason for the way you're playing the game, good for you. Put your head down and keep working at it. But if there's not, if you are handicapping yourself, if you are holding yourself back because, well, I don't want people to think bad of me, and I don't want people to judge me in my character, I don't want to quit my job because I would leave them in a very bad spot, I don't want to contact these people because, well, they might be eating dinner now, or they might be eating breakfast, or they might be eating lunch, so I'm not going to reach out and interrupt them. We come up with all sorts of excuses, all sorts of reasons why we don't do things. We hold ourselves to a higher, as we call it, standard than everybody else, even though everybody else, or a lot of the other people, seem to be succeeding in what they're doing. So through this evaluation, either you need to come to a point where you can justify the way you're acting, the decisions that you're making, the rules that you are playing by in life, or maybe, just maybe, you'll realize that everybody else is actually just playing a different game than you. That you thought you were on the soccer pitch, when in reality, you were on a football field. As always, men, hold fast. God bless. Like I said, I'm going to shorten up these podcasts a lot. I got a lot on my plate, a lot going on. But before I go, I wanted to share one thing with you guys. As a coach, one of the most enjoyable things for me is sitting back and having a strategy call with a guy who's stuck, who's just not exactly sure what his next move should be. Maybe he's certain where he needs to go, or maybe he's uncertain where he even wants to go. But he just knows that he is not satisfied with where he is today. Well, I had a call earlier this year with a guy that was in that position. And this is what he told me recently. He said, our call at the beginning of the year sparked a vision. This is the first step in a freedom movement for me. If you want to begin a freedom movement in your life, maybe a forgiveness movement, maybe a growth movement, a discipline movement in your life, whatever it might be, go to heroeswanted.us/coaching. Book some time with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's come up with a plan to get you to point B. As always, hold fast. God bless.